This show was underwritten by the Avis and Bruce Richards Family Foundation.
Hi, I'm nutritionist Tanya Zuckerbrot. Welcome to this week's episode of LunchNYC, the show all about eating and living healthy right here in New York City. The past few weeks, you've seen a lot of ways that people and organizations of our city have been stepping up to the plate and making New York a healthier place to live. Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain and taking a look at how the city government has been committed to reforming the way we eat and live. From restaurants to schools to neighborhood markets, new regulations and initiatives are transforming the health of the city. Let's check some of them out.
Adding fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet can be difficult, especially in lower income areas. The New York City Department of Health's Green Card program is making a difference, providing produce and creating jobs in dozens of neighborhoods across the city.
We know in the city there are huge disparities depending on where you live and your income as to whether or not you have a high rate or risk of becoming obese, of getting diabetes, coronary heart disease, and that's for a variety of reasons, but most of those reasons are environmental. It's very important to make a change in the environment, in the neighborhood, to make it easier and more affordable to purchase healthier foods and more difficult to purchase and consume unhealthy food. The Green Cards program is a very innovative approach to both addressing limited availability of fresh produce in certain areas of the city and also increasing opportunities for business and self-employment.
We encourage the green cart vendors to carry a diverse mix of fruits and vegetables so that the community can look at it as a one-stop shop so they don't have to shop around and go to many places. They can get everything in there and to also have a close relationship with their community to see what they want to have at the cart.
People know about it now more. They come every day. It's most likely because they see everything. I bring everything fresh from the market every day. If I get it cheap, I sell it cheap.
Some of the green cart vendors sell to their local bodegas, small businesses that maybe aren't buying in large enough quantities to get a good price. A green cart vendor could step in and sell something to them.
Whatever they need, I bring. Even to that restaurant, the Camaway, the lady comes, she listens, I need to buy some limes, you give me, and I bring it to them.
There's a lot of staples that you can find on any cart, apples and bananas, but some of the carts, they have a really strong focus on tropical fruits, mangoes, papayas, pineapple, quenepas, lychee, callaloo, which is popular in the Caribbean.
We've talked to people who live in green cart neighborhoods who say that because there's a green cart nearby, they're much more likely to eat fruits and vegetables.
Now I got kids coming up and down. Charlie, how you doing? You know, they tell their parents about me. They come back and their families and they coming by. Hello kids, how are you?
We've actually set up some field trips where we can take the kids directly to the green cart, introduce them to the fruits and vegetables that are available to them, and then they can go home and tell their parents, hey mom, did you know there's a green cart right in front of my school? Let's stop there and buy healthy food on the way home from school.
Peggy has bringing the kids this summer, so she'll have like 2 classes, one like around 10:30, and she'll come back like at 12 or 11 o'clock.
What's your favorite fruit on the can? Like,
What's my favorite fruit?
Yeah.
Strawberries.
How many hours do you work?
Hours do I work? That depends on what time I get up in the morning. I get up at 5 or 4 o'clock.
Do we have to keep some of the fruits?
Yeah, sure. I give you some fruit when you guys are done, and I give you some fruit to take home.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about being a green cart vendor?
I'm my own boss. It's better like that when you work for. I was working, and I quit my job. We'll do this full time.
To date, we've given out about 450 green cart permits, which means there are 450 vendors who can sell only fruits and vegetables and only in these certain areas of the city where, to this point, there were very limited numbers of mobile food vendors selling fruits and vegetables and limited availability of fruits and vegetables.
What's unique about the Green Card initiative is that in a recession, you have over 1,000 jobs that have been created. And not just any jobs, they're jobs that are bringing healthy foods to underserved communities. It's great to help individuals who are trying to better their lives through selling fruits and vegetables on the street.
I don't relax here. I always moving. I got things to do here, but it's good.
By working with vendors like Charlie, the Department of Health and Green Cart program are not only creating jobs in low-income areas, they're also getting New Yorkers to eat more fresh produce.
Here's a quick rule of thumb for shopping healthy at the store. Always pick brown over white. When it comes to pasta, always choose whole wheat over white pasta, and the same goes for breads, rice, and other whole grains. Whole wheats naturally contain more fiber, vitamins, and nutrients than their white counterparts. In particular, whole grains are high in fiber, which slow down digestion and keep you feeling fuller longer. So always look for the word whole on the label, and if whole grains are among the first ingredients, you know you're on the right track. By making this simple switch at the supermarket, you'll be making an important step towards you and your family's diet.
There's a lot of new terms and phrases out there when it comes to eating healthy. It can get confusing keeping track of them all. So LunchNYC had New Yorkers ask their questions to NYU nutritionist Lisa Sasson.
What exactly does organic?
Organic.
Organic.
¿Qué significa orgánico?
Organic food is regulated by the USDA. It means that the farmers and the growing methods have met certain standards, no fertilizers, pesticides to the food or the animals.
I'd like to know what the difference is between all natural foods and organic foods.
Unlike organic, natural is not regulated, and there's really no clear definition for the word natural, especially when it's on processed foods. It makes the food appear healthier, and it may not have additives, but a lot of processed foods do have things added to them. However, when it comes to meat, if it says natural, that is more regulated, and those foods don't have added colors or preservatives.
Hi Lisa, I have a question for you. Is buying something gluten-free healthy for you?
Gluten is a protein found in grain products, and people who have celiac disease need to avoid gluten. Some people may have a wheat allergy and they have to avoid wheat products. However, gluten found in wheat is really healthy, and there's no reason to avoid it unless you've been diagnosed with a food allergy or you have celiac disease.
I'd also like to know what hormone-free means. Sometimes when I'm looking at deli meats or other types of meats in the supermarket, it says hormone-free, but isn't all food hormone-free?
Poultry and pig products are regulated. They cannot contain hormones. However, if meat says hormone-free, that means that it's met certain regulations. Milk has hormones by nature from the cow, so no longer could milk products say hormone-free.
What does green mean when it's referring to food?
How you live your life will affect the food you eat and our environment. When it comes to food, it could mean eating locally grown food that has less travel miles, going to the supermarket with your own bag instead of using plastic bags, using less plastic products.
So what exactly is omega-3?
Omega-3 fatty acids are very healthy fats. The best way to get omega-3 fatty acids in your diet is to eat more fish, especially fatty fish like mackerel and salmon. If you don't eat fish, having some walnuts, some flaxseed, these are really good ways to get omega-3 fatty acids in your diet.
So what exactly is trans fat, and should I avoid it like people say we should?
We should try to avoid trans fats, also known as partially hydrogenated fat. You'll see that term on the label. Tend to increase your bad cholesterol and reduce your good cholesterol, and seem to be the greatest culprit in terms of heart disease in the diet. However, just because a product says no trans fat, it doesn't necessarily mean that product is a healthy product.
Hi Lisa, this is Greg. Is high fructose corn syrup really as bad as they say it is?
Sugar is sugar, whether it's high fructose corn syrup or table sugar. The best advice is to reduce the amount of added sugar in your diet.
Should I buy foods that have added nutrients?
The most important thing to remember is we should eat foods that are closest to their natural form, the least processed. It's the best thing for our health and our environment.
If you have any questions you'd like answered by a nutrition, fitness, food, or health expert, please go to our website and submit them.
Studies show that when most people want to grab a snack, they subconsciously reach for the most accessible item in the kitchen. So trick your subconscious with a little kitchen redecorating. place your sweets and treats high up in the cabinet, where they can't easily be seen on the countertop. Instead, leave a bowl of fruit or some nuts to snack on right out in the open. And you'll be more likely to snack healthy without even knowing it.
New York is known for a lot of things. Its skyscrapers, its Broadway shows, the Mets. But if you ask any health official from any city in the world, they'll tell you New York is best known for its nutrition reform.
Well, I started here in February of 2004, and I was charged with preventing chronic disease. And when we looked at the information and the data out there, there was just this really frightening and shocking increase in obesity and diabetes that was occurring in the city and nationally. I mean, it was very clear that this didn't happen because people became more gluttonous. Something changed in our society and in our food supply and our food environment. We look at strategies such as calorie labeling that can help raise people's awareness of this and reduce consumption of these unhealthy foods.
The city started by banning trans fats, making it difficult for New Yorkers to get access to that unhealthy and processed fat.
One of the reasons it became so widely used was that the perception was that it was a safer substitute to saturated fats, and the evidence didn't really come out till later that it was very bad for you. People thought, cannolis would disappear and knishes would die. All of our favorite foods are there. You can still get cannolis in Little Italy. You can still get Chinese food and noodles. Really nothing visible to the consumer has changed, but the food supply is indeed healthier, and we expect to have fewer heart attacks as a result. So we tried to develop a strong supportive relationship to accompany the regulation to make it easier, particularly for the small businesses, to comply on trans fat. We had full-time culinary staff from CUNY who were fielding calls from restaurants about how to make muffins with no trans fat.
Next, the health department urged fast food chains to display calories on their menus, a practice that has been adopted nationwide.
On calorie labeling, we went back and forth with virtually every national chain, or close to every national chain, on menu design, on how they could put it up so it would be compliant, on how to make it clear. A consumer wouldn't have to research every menu item to find out if it had trans fat in it. They shouldn't have to. It should be healthy by default. So one of the largest coffee chains did a study with Stanford University, and they found, on the one hand, that their revenue had not decreased at all, and they also found that the number of calories purchased in over 100 million transactions that they studied had gone down by 6%. But perhaps more importantly, life expectancy in New York City is increasing faster than in the rest of the country.
But food itself isn't the only thing getting an upgrade in NYC. Health department officials are making sure food safety is also making the grade.
About 2 years ago, we made the decision to go out to Los Angeles and take a closer hand look at what was going on there and how it worked. What we learned in LA is that the restaurant operators really did not want to have to hang a letter grade in their window that represented how they did on the inspection if it was not good. 0 to 13 points is an A, 14 to 27 points is a B, 28 points or more is a C. So we're inspecting more frequently than we have in the past.
This is Sparks Deli, and we got the first A. It was a surprise inspection. I got a call the next day saying that I got the first A. If you want customers to come into your store, the best way to do it is to have an A rating.
The polls have shown that people are concerned about the food supply, they want a healthier food supply, and that they think it's an appropriate role of government to create a better food supply for them.
Our goal is to assure that New York City restaurants provide the safest food in the world.
It's good to keep the public safe and healthy. Yeah, it keeps the hospital bills down.
We're definitely moving in the right direction. I think the kind of work that we're doing here is going to mean that many, many fewer wives lose their husbands, kids lose their parents at an early age to premature heart attacks and strokes because they're eating healthier.
As more cities around the world look to New York to lead the way for healthy policy changes, the Department of Health will continue to encourage New Yorkers to seek out fresh, nutritious foods.
We know we're supposed to eat fat sparingly, but some fats are actually good for us, while others are really bad. So here's a song about which fats definitely not to eat.
Some fats are bad, some fats are good, some you should not eat, some you should. So here's what you should know about fats. Don't eat partially hydrogenated, bad for you fat if you ate it. Trans fat hydrogenated fats.
There are three kinds of fats: unsaturated, saturated, and partially hydrogenated or trans fats. Let me tell you about the healthy ones. The unsaturated fats can be monounsaturated or polyunsaturated, and they come from things like fish and vegetables, canola oil, seeds, nuts, and things like that. They're good for your heart and your body. Saturated fats mostly come from animals. Things like meat, milk, cheese. Those can be bad for your heart. Eat less of them. The ones that are worrisome are the third group. They're man-made and they're not natural. Those are the trans fat or partially hydrogenated fats. And they're in a lot of fast foods, donuts, potato chips, french fries, and so forth. So make sure you read the label and don't eat partially hydrogenated or trans fats.
Ever go to the supermarket and just can't understand what's on a product's label? Deciphering ingredients sometimes feels like it requires a PhD. Author and registered dietitian Bonnie Taub Dix has been helping people weed through the extra syllables and get the most out of their grocery list.
So now the doors have swung open, the cold air hits your face, you're ready to face 45,000 foods in the average supermarket, and how do you know what to choose? Well, one of the best things that you could do is look at that little box that's on the back of your package, and that's called the Nutrition Facts Panel. So when you're looking at something like a candy bar versus yogurt, and you see that they're both the same amount of calories, how can you tell which one is more valuable? Well, we have to look further down the label to the ingredient list. Another important item to look at on the label is the serving size. And why is the serving size so important? Because all of those numbers that are on the label are represented in that serving. And if you see that the serving size is 1 cookie, well, that means that every one of those cookies that you eat has all of those numbers that are listed on the label. So if you eat 10 cookies, you have to multiply every number that's on that label by 10. And don't let the package be your guide as far as how much you should be eating. Sometimes foods are actually wrapped in a package that looks like an individual package, but it may be more than you need. Like granola bars, for example. Sometimes 2 are wrapped in the same package, but it doesn't mean that both of those bars have your name on it. Another important thing to look for when you're looking at serving size is really just how much they're talking about. I found a box of microwave popcorn where it listed the serving size as 4 2/3 servings per bag. That actually means you would need to get 3 2/3 friends to join you in having that bag of popcorn. And while you're at it, you might as well get a magnifying glass too, because it is so hard to read the labels on those small boxes. When you see cereal, for example, are they listing it just as the cereal that's in the product? Are they listing it with milk? And if they are, what kind of milk are they using? To give you an example, you may think that the calories are lower because they're listing it with skim milk, but are you drinking 2% milk? Are you drinking whole milk? Are you using half and half? And by the way, if you are using half and half in your cereal, we need to talk. Another important thing to look at is the ingredient list. And what most people don't realize is that ingredients are actually listed as weight per volume. So basically what that means is that the ingredients that are listed first are the most in your product. Where is sodium listed? Because if sodium is listed way down the line, then that might mean that your product actually doesn't have a lot of sodium in it. But if it's listed first or second, then that means that you may want to buy something else that's a little bit lower in sodium content. A lot of people don't realize that the word sugar could be spelled differently. And when you're looking for foods that have sugar, if you look at the letters OSE, words like dextrose, sucrose, maltose, all of those basically mean sugar. So right now, since food labels don't separate natural sugars from added sugars, it's really important that you check the ingredient list, because that's where you'll find what kind of sugars are actually used in your product. Nowadays, you'll find lots of information on the front of the package, but don't be fooled by the flashy front of pack. It seems almost like some of these boxes have neon signs around them just asking us to buy them. Turn the package over to see what's really in your food and get the facts. Let's take a closer look at some of the common terms that are on the front of your package and find out what they really mean. One of the confusing terms that you might see on the front of your package is the word light. Light could mean that it's lower in calories, but light also could mean lighter in flavor, color. So for example, light olive oil is a lighter texture, a lighter flavor. It has the same calories as the full-fledged green, dark, rich olive oil. So in terms of calories, you're actually better off not buying a light olive oil and buy a dark olive oil, so you could wind up using less of it and therefore having less calories. Food shopping could be a breeze once you learn the products that you really like and the products that are the healthiest for you.
With all the ways to think about health, it's always a good idea to know what's in it before you buy it.
You're a whole person, so eat whole grains at least half of the time. Whole grains are more complex carbohydrates, so they take longer to break down. This leaves you feeling full and whole longer. Here's a quick demo to show you how your body breaks down whole grains as opposed to refined grains. This orange juice represents the acid in your stomach. We're going to take 1 piece of white bread and 1 piece of whole grain bread and add the orange juice to them. You'll see how quickly your stomach would break down the white bread and how long it takes to digest the whole grain bread. Since it takes longer to digest, you get more nutrients from the whole grain bread and it leaves you feeling satisfied and full longer. This is a wonderful demo to show your kids the way that their body works.
I'm Dylan. I'm always hungry and I'm always looking for a new restaurant in New York City. But here's the thing, it has to be healthy. Let's visit all 5 boroughs to find the best healthy food in New York City. Today I'm checking out Gusto Organics on 14th Street. Gusto Organics is not only completely green, but it's the first restaurant in New York City to be USDA certified organic. Let's see what's in store for New York City. Hi, I'm Dylan.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alberto. Welcome to Gusto Organics.
So could you explain a little bit more about your restaurant?
We are certified by NOFA, which is Northeast Organic Farming Association, and we are certified according to the USDA standard. We are also a very progressive restaurant in the sense that we run on 100% wind power. We use a lot of sunlight. We do recycling and composting. We do everything from 0 to 100% on premises. We even bake our own bread, our pastries. So everything is being made here freshly every day from 100% certified organic ingredients. Yes. Dylan, I want to introduce Gustavo, which is our chef. Nice to meet you. Dylan, and he's Paul, our manager. So from now on, they will lead you through the kitchen and they will cook whatever you want to eat.
Okay, so what would you like to eat?
Could I get the steak sandwich?
Sure. So let's get in the kitchen and I'll show you how to make it. All right. We do the bread every day and we do twice a day, in the morning and the evening. So the bread we need to put in the grill and the meat is right there. So we have already mixed the peppers and the salt. In the meat, we use all the time extra virgin olive oil. Bread is ready. You like the mayonnaise on the side or inside of the bread?
Put it on the side,
Okay,
just in case.
sure. Grab tomatoes. The salad, we use arugula.
Arugula?
Baby arugula. And the inside also we put some tomatoes and some arugula. Okay.
All right.
So, enjoy it and let us know how is it.
I will. I'm gonna try this sandwich. It looks really good. sandwich was really great. It was cooked to my liking, and I would definitely recommend it for a friend.
That's our show for this week. I hope you've enjoyed learning about all ways New York's health and education departments are working towards building a better city to live healthy in. We took a look at some great new programs and initiatives hitting the streets and deciphered some of the health codes and regulations designed to make our restaurants better for us. If you'd like to get more information on any of these programs or departments you've seen today, please visit these websites. Join us next week at 8:30 p.m. for more great reasons why living in New York is healthier than ever.
Funding provided by